Hello, everyone. Good day. My name is Sandi Aditya. I'm a lecturer from Faculty of Business Management Study Program, LSPR Institute, and I serve as the lead researcher of this project. Let me share with you guys our research presentation. So, our research is conducted in collaboration with my colleague, Katrini Natisarasia and Taufik Akbar, CEO of InCoasters, a foundation dedicated to coastal empowerment and resilience in Indonesia. Today, I will presenting our research titled Transformation at a Crossroads, a study of institutional challenge and social innovation among microenterprises in Batukaras, Indonesia. So our research background is when we understand that Indonesia economy is strongly supported by micro enterprises, which actually make up the vast majority of business actors across the country. Around 99.62% from all operating business in Indonesia is micro enterprises. However, behind this reputation for being resilient, the reality is many micro entrepreneurs, especially in rural and coastal areas, still struggle with persistent challenges despite various support programs from the government. There's still a significant gap between policy frameworks and all other dynamics. One close example that the focus of this research is Batukaras, a coastal village in West Java that well known for its surf tourism. Yet, just like many rural and coastal areas, despite its clear tourism potential and cultural energy, many of these entrepreneurs remain disconnected from formal support structures. And yet, beneath the surface, there are signs of a quiet social innovation emerging at the grassroots level. While these small steps might not fit neatly into formal models of scaling up, they do offer us valuable clues about what sustainable and independent growth could look like when it's driven from within the community itself. So for our research objective and research questions, our objectives is aim to explore and map the everyday realities of micro entrepreneurs in Batukaras, especially how they manage to operate with around or even without support from formal or informal institutions. The main goal is to understand the structural barriers and day-to-day challenges that make it difficult for them to grow in a stable and sustainable way. And the research questions are, how do micro-entrepreneurs in Batukaras experience and respond to the institutional and relational challenges that affect their ability to sustain or grow their businesses? And second, what forms of local innovation, values, or business model practices are emerging as alternative pathways toward greater independence and sustainability? So our research methods is a combination between collaborative ethnographic proposed by Lozano that said ethnography should not be seen as a rigid technique, but to just collect data, but as a space to build knowledge together through direct experience, reflection, and continuous dialogues. So in order to do that, we collaborate closely with Vanya Savitri, a local resident who is also an international fixer, producer, and photographer. Her deep connection with the community, along with her extensive local network and cultural insight, become a key part of how we access the field and made sense of what was happening there. Also, we combine with sustainable business model architect framework presented by Poken and colleagues as a flexible lens to see whether these informal practices align with patterns of social and environmental innovation. So in short, our methods, combination of collaborative ethnography and SBM archetypes, help us highlight everyday practices that might point to more inclusive and sustainable pathway for micro-enterprises in rural coastal areas like Batukaras. So for our research results so far, our fieldwork began not in the village itself, but at the Tourism and Culture Office in Pangandaran Regency, which, to our surprise, what we want to know is, did government in Pangandaran have specific development map for Batukaras? And to our surprise, they see the village as independent enough. Thus, they only position themselves only as supporters, not initiators. And they really underline it's because of the harsh and hard characteristic of Batukaras society, which indicate and reflects a deeper relational gap. So through Vanya, we were introduced to one of the most important actors in Batukaras, which is Dean Permana, a national surf athlete who won many medals in national and international for Indonesia, and also the owner of Hang Five Coffee and Surf. So Dean is a powerful symbol for Batukaras youth entrepreneurship especially. He grew up in Purbakala, a youth organization or Karang Taruna that taught him many basic skills that important for him, from serving, English, environmental values, and community organizing. Today, his coffee shop is internationally recognized through a rare partnership with Person Arabica, an international coffee shops, whose founder give this collaboration freely and invest everything for serving festivals that happening in Batukaras for whole year, just because the owner believes to them. But beneath their success and influence, there still lies ongoing tension in Batukaras for its local entrepreneurs. While local youth are becoming more business savvy and environmentally conscious, government support remains minimal. Waste management, for example, is a chronic issue. Even during peak season, it can up to 3 containers trash pile up. But the local government cannot be clear it daily because of its minimum capacity, creating not only health problems but also aesthetic problem for its tourism, a place that depends on its natural beauty. Lifeguard, essential to coastal tourism, also lack proper equipment and financial support, resulting in rising accident and even death rate in Batukaras. Also, one of the main biggest tension between uh, local residents and the government is when a conflict emerged in 2024 when government planned to build new port in Batukaras. The intention was good, but they are not including people from the tourism in this discussion, resulting those very port can threatening the very livelihood of Batukaras entrepreneurs, which is the wave itself. The port that, as you can see in the picture on the right, in the red color, will destroying the waves that fit for surfing that makes Batukaras become one of the best international surfing spot for longboard, which means this intention, if become realization, will destroying almost 80% of tourism in Batukaras. In response, local actors, including youth from Purbakala business owner and even the villages itself, organized their own environmental impact analysis to make appeal. And after thought negotiation, they, they success convincing the government to relocate the port to a less disruptive site. This episode showed the strength of Batukaras ecosystem when they face challenges that threaten not only their environment, but also their tourism, cultures, and way of life. Interestingly, Batukaras has also grown more open. In the past, outsiders were often rejected, but Ilham Maulana, who is not originally from the village, ran popular business like Kokyo Coffee and swallowed up BK or Batukaras. His acceptance, however, still closely tied to his active role in contributing to the community, entrepreneurship community, not just extracting values from Batukaras. So in conclusion, of course, this research is still ongoing and we still need to meet and questioning interview with several key actors. But even so, it's become quite clear what gives Batukaras is uniqueness as a tourism-based entrepreneurial village is strong foundation in community-driven efforts. The presence of social innovation, particularly through youth-led collaboration and collective action, is striking and consistent across many of these initiatives we have observed. This community-based logic is what sets Batukaras apart. However, the village now stands at the crossroads. On one path lies the risk of unchecked tourism growth and external development pressure that could erode its natural landscape and its cultural soul. On the other lies the possibility of crafting a middle ground where entrepreneurship and tourism can flourish without sacrificing ecology or identity. It still remains to be seen, but maybe organic form of business model innovation already emerging here. And maybe it's all part of the answers. But what it's clear that while these models are promising, they are far from complete. Batukara still needs cross-sector collaborators who can walk alongside the community, not to dominate or replace their efforts, but to strengthen, align, and grow together. That's all from our research group. Thank you, and hopefully our presentation can give you great insight, especially in how to help micro enterprises more independent and sustainable. Thank you.